All right. Good morning, everybody. Somebody let me know you can hear us all right.
Yep.
All right. Sounds good. Well, we'll go ahead and raise your hands for coach.
Hey, Mike,
Yep.
you sound like that gone storage word. Yep, yep.
You would watch Storage Wars.
No, it seems like every time I'm surfing the TV late at night, I'll stop there and that guy's going, yep.
All right. Let's start with Rob, David Pascal, and Ryan Shumpert.
Coach, any update on Josiah? Do you know, will he be able to go to?
Rob, he's working. Yeah, we're counting on it. He is working his way back, and it'll really be a game time decision. But we're trying to, work his way back. That's what he's trying to do.
Rick, when you think about LSU, their game the other night, obviously Will Wade lost it when he got that technical, and afterwards on a Zoom call, he was passionate reliving it. Is this a team that maybe plays with as much emotion as any team in the league? And what's the challenge in matching LSU? Because they almost came back and won that thing without Pinson and without Days.
You know what, David, it's really hard for me to say one team plays with more. I think this league, I think every team has its own personality and emotion, whatever word you want to put on it. I believe that. I think that, again, Will's teams plays the way that he wants them to play. They do a really nice job of mixing their defenses. They're a team that, they really rely on your turnovers and you not taking care of the ball. They I think lead the nation in steals. Number one defensive team in the country, and then on the offensive end, they they're really good in isolations, good one-on-one players, but there's a pace that they like to play with, and he's done a good job with them. I mean, you go back over the last couple of years, you can't argue with the success that he's had.
You guys haven't beat LSU since Will Wade's first year. Outside of them just consistently having a good team, what about this matchup's giving y'all trouble?
Well, I think they're a good team. I do. I think they're a good team, and I don't know what else I could tell you. We need like any other team in the league, we need to play good basketball. We need to have everybody playing good basketball. But again, they have, and I said it, they really do a good job with their one-on-one matchups. The way they like to do that, they've had athletic players and we need to play better. We need to do better.
Grant Ramey, Mike Wilson, and Jimmy Himes.
What's the actual injury for Josiah?
He just got hit, and he had a little cut above his eye, right in here, in the forehead.
Is it a concussion protocol thing or no?
No.
Rick, you've talked a lot about how teams are guarding Santi differently. It seemed like Vanderbilt was exceptionally physical with him the other night, and Santi got a little frustrated with it. Is that something he's going to be seeing more of with the way that teams attack him at this point? And how do you challenge him to handle that and respond to that?
Well, I told him, Mike, that he ought to be honored with it. I said, it tells you how good a player you've become and how people think that you're that important. And Santi's having a great year. When you look at his numbers across the board with everything that he's doing, I think he will continue to adjust to it. And but I told him yesterday, I said, you should be proud of that. The fact that people recognize you're that kind of player. And I like him, showing some frustration, if that's what you want to call it. Even though, Santi doesn't mind being physical at all. He really doesn't. I mean, I think all players feel it gets to a point where enough is enough. And I think that's what he feels at times. I think he felt that the last time we played LSU. And but he's not going back down. He's not going back down from anybody.
Rick, two things. Number one, on Zakai Ziegler, what does it say about a player that's 0 for 8 from the field, yet when you need him at the foul line, he goes 11 for 12?
Well, we've talked about him a lot, and he is probably arguably the biggest surprise on our team this year. And we were excited when we got him. The impact that he has made. Do we think that we were going to get that? Probably not. But after him being here a short time, and I think it goes back, and I keep talking about what's in his DNA. I don't think there's any question that he's a competitor, but I also think that's a sign, Jimmy, of a good player that understands how to impact a game when he's not making shots. You know, some guys, you know, they get so wrapped up in making shots. The play of the game was arguably his defensive steal. I mean, he impacted the game on the other end. I wish more players would let their offense go. And you know, I don't think he took a bad shot in the game. It didn't go in, but he found a way to get to the free throw line. But again, he impacted the game by just, you know, playing hard and not letting the fact that he was 0 for 8 get him in a funk where he couldn't think, where he couldn't play. And I think that, again, goes back to his DNA.
Rob,
Also-
Ryan- oh, go ahead, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
You may have answered this earlier. I'm sorry if I missed it. Will Euros start against LSU? Have you made that decision?
Yes. You will.
Rob, Ryan, and Grant.
Could you give Brandon a lot more early minutes in the first half of Vanderbilt? Is that going to continue? Were you disappointed that he didn't produce? Was he good on defense enough for you to continue to play?
No, Rob, again, we're trying to get it where we can get that rotation that we want to have. And I think, again, we're hoping that he'll continue to grow and blossom in there. But we need production. There's no doubt about it. Brandon still has got to catch up with the speed of the game and understand the activity that's always going on, even when he's not involved with it. You know, and I say it all the time, going from one play to the next play to the next play, doing his work early, getting set defensively. And when, I mean, it's there in him. He just got to decide he wants to bring it out. And it's a process. And we knew that. And I've said before, he's come a long way. People have no idea how far he's come in so many different areas, but now we'd like to see him keep going and get more production when he is in the game.
With the starting lineup, is that something you guys could tinker kind of depending on matchups, or do you feel pretty locked into the 5 you have now with Euros and stuff?
I think it could change. I've told you guys ever since I've been here, I don't really care who starts the game. I'm more interested in who we got to have to finish it. But if we think, again, I think the first 4 minutes of the game are important. I think the most important part of the game is the first 3 minutes coming out of halftime. And so we've got to, again, you know, we'll go in, but we'll come up with a starting lineup based on really what we see with consistency every day in practice.
Rick, 2 weeks between games isn't, you know, very much time for an in-season series. Does that benefit your team if you lost the first one, if they still have that kind of fresh in their mind?
I don't know, Greg. I mean, it seems like it was a long time ago from my perspective because we've had so much in between, so many things we've worked through in between with our team and games. And so, again, it seems like it was a long time ago to be quite honest with you.
Mike and Jimmy.
Yeah, Rick, seemed like there was a lot of praises for Olivier for probably a 2-week stretch to start SEC play, but he's kind of seemed to struggle maybe the past week or so. What are you kind of working on with him right now?
If we could just get Olivier to truly buy in to what we need from him and his athleticism, where he'll, again, kind of what Uros, I think, stated after the game the other night. It took him a while to totally figure it out, what he needed to do to help our team. I still think Olivier's working through that in terms of consistency, and we need him. We need him. I mean, he is arguably the most athletic guy on our team, and we need him to show that athleticism in a lot of different ways. You know, whether it's rebounding, blocking shots, which he's proven he can do it, or when we go to our switch package that he can defend guards, stay in front of them, and still, you know, do the things that we need him to do on the offensive end. But again, we hope that he can get to the point where we know exactly what we're going to get from him every night.
Rick, do you think LSU is one of the more athletic teams in the SEC?
I think they're athletic. I think the way Will wants to build his team, I think I would say athletic quickness. I think he likes offensive-minded players, and I mean, they've changed their style from a year ago, where I think he feels like, I mean, their defense is different than it has been in terms of you know, they're trying to create a lot of offense with their defense, a lot of it, where, again, you go back and look, 24 points, 23, 24 points a game, they can get off their defense. And you can maybe even break it down where it could be more. So when you play against them, everything you do, I mean, whether what you're doing on your offensive end can dictate how good they are on their defensive end. But shot selection, for instance, is really important, because if you take shots that aren't where your team's not ready to be in position to defend in transition defense, or they just don't expect it, they do a great job of capitalizing in those situations.
Finish up with Rob and Ben.
Coach, just when you talk to your team about LSU, what are the top 1 or 2 things on the scouting report that you emphasize?
Well, I mean, obviously, you got to take care of the basketball. That's really important when you look at a team that thrives on your turnovers, on your mistakes, on your early missed shots, whatever it may be. So you've got to take care of the ball, and I think it's really important from our perspective that we understand scouting reports from individual personnel. And every game is going to go back to, Rob, you got to, the fundamentals of the game. You got to rebound the basketball. You've got to do that. Our defense has to be on point, but we just need a great effort from everyone.
Rick, you said the other night that you wish that you could find some playing time for Quentin. Just what has he done in practice to kind of make you feel that way, and what situation would need to come up for you to throw him in the game?
Well, he has, because Quentin's continued to work, and he's like all freshmen that come into college basketball. It's all new to him. He's trying to figure it out, and it's just like Zakai. It's just like Jemiah. I think he slowly but surely is understanding more and more what we need from him and how we need it. I think Quentin has gotten to that point as well. And the question you ask is a hard one to answer. At what point in time in the game? I don't know. I wish I did, but we're proud of him because he's continued to work. He's working hard every day, and at some point it'll happen. And all I know that I'm excited he's in our program, and he's got a great future ahead of him.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.